Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're actually going to be installing this 7.2-inch rear entertainment display. And this is for my Model Y. This particular product is actually by Tlyard, but many of the other guys out there have the same product. But most excited about this because this is probably like the third version that's come out now. This more or less looks like the ones that you would see in the Model X and the Model S. So it'll be interesting. One thing I know that this product has done, because it's the third version now, they've made a couple of updates and hopefully it has fixed a couple of the bugs that we've seen on the previous versions. So let's go ahead and open this box real quick and kind of take a look inside. So here's the screen. So it's pretty, like I said, it looks very similar to what you would see in the Model S and the Model X. This one does have, obviously it's still the charging, USB-C charging ports here and the data port, but it also has a fixed air diffuser down here. So that would be a little bit interesting. Let's see if there's enough air coming out of that diffuser. But on the back side, it kind of just looks like some of the other versions. But this one also comes again with the obviously the wiring harness. In this particular model though, it does have the passenger seat control. So we're going to be able to control the passenger seat with this new wiring harness, but it does connect to the wiring harness. So we'll see how that works out, to run the wire a little bit more than the previous version. And then obviously it does come with a plastic pry tool, and then looks like a little jumper here that we'll have to install. So we'll take a look at that as well. Okay, so to remove this back section here of the armrest, it's actually fairly easy. And all you do is just literally put your hands about right here and you just pull slightly and it actually just pops off just like that. So as you can see, that was really easy to remove. And then right here, you just unplug that little connector there, and that should be able to remove this piece of the of behind the armrest. And below, where you access the connection here for your MCU, or you're going to make quite a bit of the connections, is you just simply use one of these plastic pry tools, and a lot of the kits come with this tool. So, but all you do is just slide it underneath the panel here, and then just pull slightly, and as you can see, it just literally pops right out. And now you can access the connector right down here. But before you do that, before you disconnect this, make sure you power down the vehicle. Okay, so to power down the vehicle, what we're gonna do is hit the little car icon button down here, go into safety, scroll all the way down to the bottom until you see the power off button, and you just wanna hit power off. Pop-up window will come up, and then you just hit the power off button. So one thing you wanna do while you're doing any work or touching electronics and the car's power off is make sure you don't sit in the driver's seat, and then keep the driver door open. One other thing that's super helpful to give you a little bit more room is go ahead and get the seat moved forward. And it's basically just to be able to access behind the armrest, a little bit easier. With the existing air diffuser out and then this bottom plate out, we also got the power shut down to the vehicle. So now we're gonna run all the cable and see. So this, remember that jumper cable that I mentioned earlier, this one right here, we're gonna add that to the existing harness because that's no longer gonna be useful. So yeah, we're just gonna plug that in. So that should be pretty easy. But then we're going to take, the harness that's provided in the kit here, and we're going to attach this cable down to the existing MCU connector right there. Then we're going to run part of the cable up to here to be able to attach to the back side of the new display. And then we're going to come underneath the chair rail down here. And right in that seam there is where we're going to hide the cable and run it along down here underneath the carpet and make a connection to the side of the passenger seat. So what I've found to make the connection here to the passenger seat is basically we're just going to pull this panel back a little bit, and there's a connection that we'll make behind that. Now there is a screw that you can access down below the seat here to make things a little bit easier, but quite honestly I have found in the past that it's much more difficult if you don't have the proper tools to be able to access that Torx bit fastener that's below the seat. So one pro tip that I have for you guys is to be able to run, the wire below this chair rail here is get you a wire or some kind of fish tape. And I have this, little fish tape here to be able to feed the wire underneath that chair rail, and it'll just make your life so much easier. So pick up, something like this fish tape on Amazon. It's pretty inexpensive. This one actually came in a kit that I have for some of the plastic pry tools. So this I found extremely handy when you're doing some of this type of stuff. With most of the wiring harness already ran, obviously we went ahead and ran it underneath the chair rail, and then we ran it up against or behind this little panel here. Now to make things easier, you can remove this panel here, but I didn't really want to bother removing the two fasteners at the bottom to do that. Now obviously it's just two fasteners, but and it's really simple to do that. I just didn't want to bother to do it. Ended up using the fish tape that we used to get the wire underneath the chair rail. So now we're going to attach the little jumper cable that goes right here, pop on the screen, make the connections behind the screen with a new harness, and attach to the MCU connector down there. Everything's connected behind the screen, and we got the connection down below. We also went ahead and put the trim piece panel back on, so that's looking good. Everything here looks really good. So now we need to run the rest of the cable that we have down below here to the right side of the passenger seat. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, that cable that we have left here, we're going to run underneath the carpet down here, and then we're going to pull this panel back on the seat just like that. Again, they're just held with clips, and then we're going to fish the wiring harness underneath the seat and make the connection right here. So these are the controls for the passenger seat, so that's where we're going to jump this connector right here. One thing to point out, it's actually easier to run the cable from the front of the seat or the front of the vehicle instead of coming through the rear of the car. But we've done it. We have the wire here, and I'm going to go back a little bit later and probably zip tie that wire underneath the seat so it's not dragging or caught on anything. But disconnected the the seat control. So now all we have to do is just plug it in, just like that, and then snap this panel back in place. And that should be it. That should be all the connections. Like I said, I'm going to go back a little bit later and zip tie that wire underneath the seat. So it's a little bit nicer down there, even though you can't see it, but that should be it. So let's go ahead and check out what our rear display does. Power's back on. We got the screen on, so obviously that it all works, all powered up. Time is off, so it's actually 10:25 a.m. here, and obviously it says 12:33. So let's see what we need to do to update that and peek around a little bit, see what this thing can do. So scrolling up, I guess we have to hit that power button. Oh, it is on. So let's see, down here has temperature in Celsius, which is we need to update that too. So let's see what we got. Okay, so that was the power button to turn the screen off. There's looks like a lock button, music button, assuming that's the menu. Yep. Okay, so let's go to settings. Let's see what the language, set it English. Go back to, let's go back to the time, fix that. We want to do 12-hour format, time zone. Let's update this. Okay, so I went back to the main settings here and found the temperature unit. So it was again set at Celsius, so we want to change it to Fahrenheit. Go back to the time zone here because this time zone is definitely incorrect. We might actually be GMT -6, so let's take a look at that and make sure that's right. Okay, the temperature is definitely set at 68 in the main screen, so it does say 68 degrees Fahrenheit down here, so that's correct. Let's see, so we got settings, Android settings, looks like we got Chrome, the Play Store, file managers if you have something on a USB stick, you got YouTube, but I imagine all these you have to connect to obviously Wi-Fi, or I believe this particular model you should be able to connect via Bluetooth to your phone and be able to access, you know, all those features as well. So yeah, the top left button, we got the home button. Basically, this appears to be the home screen here. Now, there is air coming out of this diffuser. So that's definitely working, and it appears to be a sufficient amount of air. So we'll really see what that's like on a warmer day. Actually, it's really nice outside today, so we'll check that out a little bit later. I don't think you can adjust the airflow or anything, but you can adjust. Looks like the fan speed up there. All right, guys. You know what? I'm gonna have to probably spend a little bit of time playing with this thing because it takes a little bit to get through. Got the Wi-Fi connected, but again, that's only Wi-Fi to my house, to be able to, you know, at least access Chrome here, and that apparently works. There's some other cool features within this thing, and the user face is actually really nice. The touch screen works really well. You can control the heated seats with this screen, so that's really nice. The previous versions you were able to do that as well, and then of course control the volume from back here, so that's nice too. Other than that, I mean, overall it looks really good. Again, it does look like the versions that you would see, or what comes standard in the Model X and the Model S. The little trim here does match pretty well with the trim that you have up front around the center console. The black finish, matches fairly well. So that's all really nice. Haven't tried out the USB or USB-C charger and data ports yet. Again, like I mentioned before, air does come out of the diffuser, but need to see what that's really like on a warmer day. But overall, man, this thing is actually really nice. There's a bunch of other features in here haven't figured out yet. Now, when you attach the USB-C stick, should be able to watch videos from it, get music from it. And then I actually haven't connected the Bluetooth yet to the main computer of the car. So again, may have to actually create another video here on just how to use the screen. So overall, a lot of features, looks really good. Pretty happy with it. It does appear to be definitely updated versus the previous models that we've seen, and that I know you guys have seen. So again, put a comment down below and let me know what other features that you found helpful or just really cool with this particular screen. Again, might need to create a separate video just how to use the thing. So, but if you guys have found this helpful, hit that like button down below, and of course subscribe for more. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.